If you follow the channel for any length of time, you would have seen several videos of me sat here in the garage talking through various subjects and topics. But I thought today I'll actually run through a little bit of a transformation of how I took the garage from when I first bought it to how it looks today. And on top of that, I'll do a quick run through and a quick guide of what's where and what the most important items are. So let's not hang about, let's get straight into it. Rewinding back in time a little bit, it was around 5-6 years ago that we bought this house, and one of the things that was important in my criteria was the condition of the garage and the space available in front of the garage. The garage itself was in pretty good condition. It was pretty much a hollow shell, but at least it was a blank canvas to start working on. And I'm going to run through now a bit of a slideshow of each step along the way that roughly brings it to where it is today. So here you can see the first photo I've taken, which was post-fitting of the cupboards and the ceiling storage, and the idea behind that was to maximise as much as possible the storage space available without chipping away at the floor space. Once that was done, I started to add a lick of paint to try and bring up the appearance a little bit. So you can see here I've painted the ceiling storage with a sort of neutral grey, and then followed by that I added a lick of slightly darker paint to the cupboards against the back wall. And then at the time, I think it was a bit of a mistake in hindsight, but I then painted the shadowboard area with like a funny green colour. I then went about adding some lights for the workbench area, and as you can see here, they give off quite a warm feeling. But it meant you didn't have to have the main light on, and if you were just working on the bench, you could just put the little overhead lights on. A couple of days later, decided to paint the walls, which was an incredibly slow and painstaking process, but all I used for this was just your bog standard white emulsion. Then came a little bit of customization where Mrs. Monkeywood made a stencil that we spray painted onto the cupboards. Back then the idea was to call it Monkey Garage. Go into that later, but obviously, as you know, it ended up being Monkeywood Garage. Then I had the bright idea of customising the paint. So using the breeze blocks as a guide, I decided to paint like a staggered pattern across. This probably took 3 full days of painting because all the cutting in was absolutely brutal. The next stage was to add some Duramat flooring. Now this stuff's fantastic, it just locks into place. All I did was I started in one corner, worked my way across, and then you basically chop off a line along the edge to make it fit. And here's how the first iteration of the garage looks. So this stage is pretty much complete. As you can see, I've added a little rack in the far corner because that's all the floor space I had. Now the garage looked like that for a good couple of years before I decided that I no longer liked the patterns I'd painted on the wall and felt it looked a bit too much like a hotel toilet. I'm not really sure, it didn't quite have the right vibe for a garage. Fast forwarding to today, here's a little picture of what it looks like when all the lights are on. I painted the basically lower section of the wall in a dark blue and left the top half white. Now that's the quick run through of how I've transformed the garage to what it was originally to roughly what it is now. Now I'm going to give you a quick tour of what I've got where. On the shadow boards I've just got a load of kind of miscellaneous tooling, silicone sealants, glue, batteries, various tools, all that kind of stuff. Obviously your important ACF 50, essential for bikes. And over here is generally the stuff I take out on rides. Anti-mist for the glasses, the visor cleaner, earplugs, glasses, that kind of thing. And then I have my tablet in here, which is just set up to a speaker in the background, which is spot on when you want to listen to music. And welcome back to the Monkeywood. And the speaker, it's just an Amazon special. Short motor vlog ride over across into Sunderland and down towards the coast. That's enough of that. Got a load of assortments of fasteners, screws, washers, nuts, bolts, because they come in handy. Brake rewind kit, another set of screwdrivers, a couple of car cleaning brushes for alloys or for the bike for getting into the small spaces. Then up here, got sets of axle stands and a couple of ramps and some breaker bars which come in very handy. When it comes to the shelving, this stuff again, as always, is off Amazon. It's about 50 quid for a rack, one set that you can see here. And it holds something like 200 kilograms per rack, which is pretty good. And obviously you can set the height. So this is mostly dedicated to cleaning bike or cars. And then this side is more chain cleaning stuff, and then here various copper greases, WD-40, all that kind of stuff. Penetrating fluid, essential for any garage. And then down here is more polishing stuff, and I always like to keep spare oil, coolant, that kind of stuff, because you never know when you're going to need it. And down in this corner, these are so handy. These are little pucks, if you want to call them that you can put on your jack. I always try and avoid lifting directly on the pinch points underneath the car, because they tend to bend or get scuffed up and end up rusting. This is my little stool that you've probably seen many times on the channel, but that is so handy when you're cleaning the bike or doing the chain because of the height of it. As you can see, it's ideal. Moving along, I've got some bits and pieces for Monkey, our Jack Russell, for when he goes in the car. And this, which is from Halford's, the advanced tool set. Absolutely fantastic. It comes with a lifetime guarantee, and this has saved my bacon countless times. It has pretty much every size you could ever want. And then under here we've got the Karcher Hoover, which also doubles up as a blower, great for drying the bike. And then a Karcher pressure washer, but that works fantastic, especially when you use the snow foam attachment. Moving along, we've got the little charging station, so all the DJI stuff, a couple of battery packs for camping. And then this side is generally where I keep all the camping gear. Now it is admittedly a right mess because I was only camping a couple of weeks ago and I've just dumped everything back in. But there's a lot of the stuff you would have seen on the channel over the last 6 months. A couple of bits of food ready for the next camps. And like I say, it is just literally dumped at the minute. It does need a good sort. And then in this corner, this was a Christmas present off Mrs. Monkeywood. Street Fighter 2 arcade cabinet. Absolutely love this. Then flipping around the other side, I always keep the jack, a low profile jack, and then I've got a hanger for the helmet, which is again just an Amazon special, but you can move that around, that works spot on. Never had any trouble with that. And that was the first helmet that I bought when I was doing the CBT in Mod 1, Mod 2. And then I've just got a hanger for the clothes. And up here is a lot more camping stuff, but this stuff's generally if I'm going car camping, because it's all big pack size stuff, like tables, big gas stoves, big sleeping bags. Pretty much more of the same. And these, which I've actually never got to use on the MX-5, these race ramps. So what you do is jack the car up as high as it'll possibly go, and then you would put one of these under each wheel, and then you can take away all your jacks and axle stands, and you'll have the car quite high off the ground. So in terms of storage for the bike, I've got a Yamaha bike mat, and it just sits on some Oxford stands and they work perfectly fine. The bike's nice and secure. One thing I didn't mention, don't know if anybody's noticed this yet in any of the past videos, but if you've got any messages or any shout outs, drop them in the comments and I'll put them on the board for the next video that I record in the garage. So in terms of the floor, there's the close look at the Duramat stuff, which is very hard wearing, and also just keeps the place slightly warmer because you haven't got you're not walking on the bare concrete. And for this side of the garage, I've just got like a large, well, I think you'd call it a rug, that fits almost perfectly. And then this is what I was showing you about the walls. I've just gone for the white on the top half and a dark blue on the bottom, and I think that really looks better than the way I had it before with the overly complicated mix of colours that I had laid out. Almost forgot to mention, what I tend to do as well is whenever I buy something, quite often they'll come with little stickers, and I'll put these all the way around the garage. I mean, you can see them dotted just about everywhere. And a little shout out to another YouTuber, Driver's Den. And that's the tour of the Monkeywood garage complete. In terms of future plans, I don't think I need anything else in terms of tooling, but the one thing that I do need in this garage is another bike to sit there, because I can't see that going anywhere, and I think there's just enough space if I move that bike along to the left a little bit to get another one right there. Ever since I started the channel, I did have a few people asking about the garage, so I thought it was a good time to give you a little look around. But that's a wrap for today. So as always, if you've enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.